Oh no, an evil water jug. Too bad all I got is this old useless revolver. Hi everybody, Love Bang Bang here, and today I want to make a video on why it's okay to own a revolver and use it for self-defense. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about why revolvers are actually fairly effective, even in this day of Glocks and SIGs and all these other high capacity, 9mm. Why revolvers, they've still got their place. And I've heard it on the internet, on YouTube, people saying, oh, these revolvers, they're obsolete. Who would use a revolver for self-defense? Now, today I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why you may be using your revolver for self-defense. In this more kind of soft apocalypse times we're in right now, things have been going kind of crazy, I know. And one thing that's kind of a good thing that came out of this, if you ask me, is we have over 3 million new gun owners in America. Some gun owners are saying that's terrible, but I don't think it's too bad of a deal. If they're well educated on the subject, go watch YouTube videos, if you will, and they kind of know what they're doing, I think it's an awesome thing. But, now there are people out there and they're wanting to go buy a new gun, but they either don't have the money or, you may be living in California, might be all you have at home is, Charter Arms Bulldog that your dad gave you, or your Smith & Wesson Model 13 your grandpa gave you, It just might be something like that. And there's all sorts of people go and look on, they're like, oh, well, I just bought myself a Charter Arms Bulldog. Let's go look it up and see what people have to say about it. And it never fails. There'll be some bearded, tattooed yahoo on there going, oh, these revolvers are obsolete. You need to go and get yourself a new Glock 17 Gen 5. And then goes on a little further. Oh, this video was sponsored by Glock. Oh, well, thank you for the information for the infomercial. So the 5th reason why I'm going to talk about is what I was talking about just a second ago. It may be what you have. As the saying goes, your Smith & Wesson Model 10 or your Charter Arms Bulldog that's in your pocket is worth a whole lot more whenever you're in a self-defense situation than the Glock 19 you got on layaway. So, like I said, the 5th reason why I'd say why it's okay to have use a revolver, it may be what you have. Also, to go with that, it may be what your state or jurisdiction allows you to have. Some jurisdictions only allow you to have 10 rounds. So you could probably have a 1911 high point. But, for the bang for your buck, these are pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the 4th reason why it's okay to own a revolver. And that's going to be reliability. Now I can already hear all the internet keyboard warriors going off. Well, my semi-auto is more reliable. I saw the mud test, which the mud tests are awesome, by the way. But I've seen mud tests and all this going on and all that, and well, that's true. But I'm generally not thinking about going and taking my revolver and dragging it through a mud hole whenever I'm carrying it. Going to the Walmart parking lot. The reliability I'm talking about is against malfunctions, usually user-caused malfunctions, or ammunition. So what I got here is probably the flagship, if you will, of revolver reliability. It has the overused, if you ask me, phrase about it, Ruger, built like a tank. It should be a mantra for them. I see it on every single video. It always starts out with, this is my Ruger GP100 and it is built like a tank. Well, they are very big and very reliable. They are a very reliable firearm. I'm just kind of a Smith & Wesson guy myself. So what I've done here is I've taken and I've removed 1 round of ammunition to simulate a faulty round. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fire, I'll get 1 round, and then I'll have a malfunction, and I'll show you how you clear a malfunction on a double action revolver. It's as simple as that. Just pull the trigger again. For new users, I would almost suggest a revolver to learn on. With a semi-auto, what you have to do is you have to do remedial action. Alright, so I didn't have a semi-auto out there with me today, so what I'm going to be using is this Ruger Security 9. And I'm going to show you when you have a malfunction with a semi-auto, what you have to do to clear it. So the weapon is unloaded, magazine's unloaded, chamber is unloaded. So we're going to simulate malfunction. We're going to pretend. So I'm shooting. So, alright, fired. Now I have a malfunction. With a semi-auto, you have to slap your magazine, make sure it's inserted right. You have to pull the slide back, observe, make sure that your brass hasn't either jammed into the chamber, or if it has, you're going to have to get something to get it out, or if you just didn't feed another round, then you will release, and then you should be good to fire again. This is kind of one of the downfalls for a semi-auto with new users. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the third reason why it's okay to own a revolver. And that's going to be concealability. Now you can probably tell right now, or maybe you can't, that I got in my pocket a Charter Arms Bulldog and 44 Special. Let's see what this thing can do. I'd say it's pretty effective. This little thing right here cost about 250 bucks, if I remember right. Now it's 44 Special, and I can already hear people again talking about how, well, it's not as good as a 9mm. Maybe, no, I would say it's probably not as powerful as a 9mm. But what I will say is, for something this size, to hold 5 rounds of 44 Special, in a semi-auto, you would probably have something this size chambered in 32 auto, well, not anymore, it's a little older, 380 or something like that. But in this, you get 5 rounds of 44 Special, which can be extremely effective, and for a very small size. Alright, so now we're going to talk about reason number 2 why it's okay to carry a revolver, and that's going to be speed. Now, I'm going to tell you, a revolver is not the fastest thing to reload. That's probably going to be a semi-auto. But it's not as slow as everybody thinks either. What I got here today is an HKS speed loader. Now, I've never used an HKS speed loader before today, so I'm kind of a noob to this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fire 6 shots kind of at a bottle over there. And I'm going to try to aim. I'm going to try 6 aimed shots. Then I'm going to open my cylinder, hit the ejector rod, emptying all my casings on the ground, load another speed loader in there, and then we'll fire 6 more shots to see how long it takes us to fire 12 shots. Mind you, these reloads are kind of iffy to get in there. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the most common reason why most people, at least where I'm from, carry a revolver. What I have in front of you is a 38 Special. It's kind of a mediocre little round, very fun little round, extremely economical, especially when you're reloading. But it's a little lacking on firepower. So what do you want to do? If you got a 38 Special, you'll go and get a 357 Magnum, which is more powerful. Or you can get something like the 44 Magnum. Now the 44 Magnum is a 44 Special casing. It's a little longer, and the rim's a little wider, and so it won't chamber in a 44 Special like that Charter Arms Bulldog, but it's loaded with a much slower burning powder, almost a rifle powder. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this from some range. I'm going to take my beloved Model 29-3 with a 240 grain flat nosed hard cast bullet. And these are kind of a mediocre round. This is not even the hottest you can get a 44 Magnum. But we're going to see if I can hit that jug over there, and we're just going to see the power of the 44 Magnum. All right, so now we're gonna kind of look at what our targets are here. Here's the one I shot with a 38 at pretty much point blank range. And as you can see, I got a bunch of little holes in it, and you can see some damage on the exit here. Here's the 44 Magnum whenever I just grazed it. As you can see, it ripped that apart. If I would have hit it square in the middle, which I need to practice more, I know. I have one hole here. It's really because it was out of water at that point, and it just blew all the way through. But whenever that first time it got hit, it blew that whole corner out of there. So 44 Magnum is no joke. And especially like in places out here where, you know, you could go deer hunting with it. I probably wouldn't take a 9mm deer hunting. I'd take a 44 Magnum, no problem, as long as I practiced a little bit before I did it. And if you live in like Alaska, let me show you something. This 44 Magnum, you saw the power it can have. If I would have hit it a little more center, you would really see. I'll show you, I'll put a video in here about right here. Woohoo! Okay, now you saw in that video how effective it is whenever it's shot at a little closer range and it's hit in the middle. You can get one of these, what they call the Smith & Wesson Model 69, which is a L frame, which is pretty much the size of a frame as this, but with a shorter barrel. And so you can throw that in your pocket and take it with you into the woods in Alaska to go defend yourself. All right, and this leads us to the +1 reason, or the 6th, of why owning a revolver, you aren't wrong to own a revolver or to use it. What I have here is the 38 Special, and I'm about to go on a little bit of a rant about what's so special about the 38 Special. It's a very mild little round, doesn't have a whole lot of recoil. If you have a 357 Magnum, you can shoot it out of a 357 Magnum, plus your hotter loads. When you're doing hand loading like I do, the bullet cost me nothing. I melted down a bunch of old windmill bearings that are made out of what they call Babbitt. It's a lead tin mixture and makes a pretty hard little bullet. Then my primer only cost around 2 cents a piece. Powder was about 3 cents. I had a bunch of old 38 Special casings laying around the house, so they were pretty much free. I'm spending 5 cents a round to shoot 38 Special out of one of my favorite revolvers. And so the 6th reason is, if you're a hand loader, it's economical, extremely economical, and sometimes it's just kind of plain fun to shoot. I'm going to shoot these here clay pigeons right here and see if I can miss them. And that is my 5 reasons why it's okay to own an old revolver. Have a nice day.